Friday, and aren't they all fine? This is Eric Chilton with Stacy Spivey and Lauren Coleman.
Hey y'all.
Yeah, we have made it, guys.
Yes.
It's the Friday before Christmas Eve. We're
8
1
days.
week out.
I still need to prepare for Christmas.
Girl, you gotta get together. You're running out of time. Well, thank you all for watching the 4 to 5 right here on News 2 Fire Stick Roku and the News 2 app as well.
And we're also on Facebook, so join the conversation. Our big story today, schools around the Triad and the nation are stepping up security for social media threats that appear to have gone viral on TikTok. No specific threat has been made to any one school, but it appears the trend is to call some kind of threat into these schools.
Yeah, right now, no school district or law enforcement office believes the threats are credible. All of our districts are being proactive, though, and letting parents know they're aware of this trend, but it is still safe to send kids to school. One district, Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, announced yesterday their district will join other schools across the state in a new anonymous reporting system called Say Something. District officials say the program helps train staff and students about the red flags to look out for and someone who could pose a threat to themselves or others. The system allows people to report concerns to school leaders and law enforcement anonymously through a crisis center monitored 24/7. People can report threats through the school's mobile app, website, or the hotline. That hotline number is 1-844-572-9669. The district's decision to participate in this program was not because of the TikTok trend threats happening. Other Triad school districts also participate in this program, like Yadkin and Surry County schools.
I mean, I think in this age of social media, and when we hear something like this, you just it's one of those things where you got to pay attention. You know, you've got to really take things seriously, whether you know if there's an actual threat or not.
I think it just adds on another layer of anxiety. You know, we're in the pandemic with COVID. Kids have had to change the way they learn, and now this. And it's, as a parent, I would think you put your kid in school for them to be in a safe place, but now you're hearing about all these different threats on social media. It's just another concern to worry about.
I just don't understand. Like, how is this trendy to want to do something like this at school?
Yeah.
I don't get where that's coming from. You know, I feel like it was a few months ago where the kids, it was a trend from TikTok to go and like destroy the bathrooms at school.
Oh yeah,
throwing feces everywhere.
Yeah, it was just disgusting. And like, what? That's not cool. It should not be cool. It needs to stop.
And it's like, why does everything have to be so violent? If you want something to trend, why not it be a cool dance or something?
Right.
Why does it have to be anything that puts anyone in danger? There's nothing fun about that, and it's criminal activity. Like, you can get in a lot of trouble for this.
I think of, you know, everybody knows that person that loves to be the bearer of news, whether it's good or bad. You know, the one that always like will call you. Like, I know some people have relatives like, oh no, it's Aunt so-and-so, it's always gonna call me. I think those are the people that share these things and send it off because they want to be the one to show that, whether it's good or bad. In this case, it could be horrible.
I think it goes back to what we were saying yesterday on the 4 to 5. I think parents just really have to get more involved in what their children are doing on social media and just really monitor that, because this is really just starting to get out of hand.
It really is. Big job for parents. Well, we do talk about it a lot, these students needing an outlet or a place to feel like they belong. For many, it's sports. This is something those with the Winston-Salem Open noticed and chose to invest $25,000 into middle school sports. The Winston-Salem Open, serving good news this holiday season.
I was very shocked.
The tournament's largest donation in history, $25,000, going to Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools middle school athletics.
We're providing the foundation for these kids to be successful in that space.
Tournament director Jeff Ryan credits Chairman Don Flo for wanting to focus on middle school sports. He says it's not tied to a particular sport, but just to help kids be active.
Young folks are at a critical age, and athletics can really provide a meaningful outlet for them.
Assistant Athletic Director for Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, Alexis McCoy, says this is crucial. 16 middle schools in the district have sports like baseball, softball, basketball, volleyball, and cheerleading. So this money will directly benefit those programs.
I think with this donation, it's going to help us reach out to more kids that might be struggling who need athletics more than athletics needs them.
A win for this community choosing to invest in their kids. Next year's Winston-Salem Open is scheduled for the week of August 20th, and by going to this tournament, a portion of the money can be used for donations like this. So really incredible what they did, the largest donation that they've ever made to middle school sports, which I absolutely love.
I think that's a great investment because I know when I was in middle school, I was on the track team, and it was when I first moved back to the States after living in Germany, and it was a way for me to make new friends, stay in shape, and it made me realize this is something I could be really good at, and I started doing it in high school, joined AAU, but that middle school era is when you really start to think to take sports a little more seriously.
And I think that's also the age group where sometimes there's not enough money in the sports programs, and so they end up with a lot of hand-me-downs from the high schools and that type of thing. So to put that influx of money into that level and get their equipment where they need to be, then they're ready for the high school level.
And also think about this, they didn't have sports last year,
Oh,
middle
yeah.
schoolers.
Oh, that's right.
And then it was cut short the year before that. So I think it's great, their school sports are coming back, and they're gonna have this big chunk of money to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, definitely an exciting time for them. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and jump into our 4 to 5 roundup. COVID-19 continues benching college sports teams. Duke men's basketball will no longer play Loyola, Maryland. Loyola has positive cases of COVID on the team. This is the second time Saturday's game has been delayed for the Blue Devils after their game against Cleveland State was canceled. And UNC will meet Kentucky Saturday in the CBS Sports Classic in Las Vegas. The Tar Heels were supposed to play UCLA, but 2 of 4 teams are out of the tournament right now. You can watch the Tar Heels play right here on WFLY News 2. Tip-off is at 5:30. A New Mexico judge signed a search warrant for Alec Baldwin's phone. Authorities will download nearly all the data on Baldwin's phone as part of their investigation into the fatal set shooting from October. Authorities believe Baldwin used his phone to discuss Rust Productions in the months before the shooting and want to search it for any evidence connected to the death of Helena Hutchins. No one has been charged on the set shooting. A nearly 2-month game of Where's Waldo is finally finished. The llama, now known as Waldo, has been safely caught and is now at Red Dog Farm. Waldo went missing late October and was spotted in the High Point neighborhoods. Authorities captured the llama and took him to Red Dog Farm, but then he escaped again. A Stokesdale woman reported the llama this morning near her home and was able to contain the llama in a fenced area. A team of Red Dog Farm employees were able to corral the animal and get him back to the farm once again. Waldo seems to be in good condition and will get a vet checkup very soon. We're glad he's doing.
I don't know how he escaped. You better put him in a different kind of pen. That llama has figured out how to use his nose and open up that latch or something. I'm not sure what's happening there. 68 degrees in Greensboro, 72 in Burlington, High Point 69, Winston-Salem 66. Mount Airy, you're at 60, and we go to 59 in Galac, 63 in Wilkesboro. Overall, you know, we've been talking about that mild weather, and it is here for another day, too. 54 the low tonight. Keep in mind, our low tonight is warmer than what our high should be this time of the year. That's how mild we are. Partly cloudy tonight. Now we do have a chance of a shower or two heading into tomorrow. 69 degrees, so close to that 70-degree mark, but it will be windy too as we see those winds gusting up 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting to 25. Fairly cloudy right now ahead of this. Now notice most of the rain is to the north of us, but when you look at this frontal boundary and how this all plays out, now as we head into Saturday there, that's Saturday morning, you see that moisture coming in from the south. We do have that chance of a shower, and then even into Sunday morning, maybe a leftover shower. We're thinking will clear out and cool down as we head into Sunday night. So when you look at our long-range forecast here, one more day of the warm stuff there at 69, and then we're pretty seasonal. 52 is our average high, so 51 on Sunday, but a 40% chance of showers Saturday and Sunday morning. Then a clear out, and it is cold. Monday, 48 for the high, 28 the low that morning. Tuesday, first day of winter, appropriately so there with 30 and 52, and we'll hover between 53 and 55 for Wednesday, Thursday, and Christmas Eve.
Hello, I'm Specialist Pennsylvania. I'm deployed to Kosovo, part of Task Force Med. I'd like to give a shout out to my family in Asheville, North Carolina, and my dog Hank. I love y'all, miss y'all. I'll be back soon.
LA Chargers tight end Donald Parham was diagnosed with a concussion but is in stable condition after last night's game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Parham was efforting touchdown passes when he fell to the ground and hit his head on the turf, then lost consciousness. The tight end was helped off the field on a stretcher early in the first quarter. The Chargers say Parham is resting comfortably and is alert and will hopefully be discharged from the hospital later today.
Well, these types of injuries can be really concerning, especially if someone has had multiple concussions. Sports medicine physician Dr. Christopher Miles with Wake Forest says they still don't know a lot about the long-term effects of concussions in CTE, but researchers do know if your child gets 1 or 2 concussions, they should recover fine as long as they're evaluated by a concussive expert. It's when an athlete has concussions repeatedly over a long period of time that can be a cause for concern.
I really encourage parents to let their kids be active, let them be involved in whatever activity that they seem to enjoy, but to ask that the coaches coach technique and to really stress safety.
Now, symptoms of a concussion include a headache, dizziness, vision changes, balance problems, emotional changes, and possibly long-term sleep trouble. I learned so much from him, and I'm going to share more of his interview Monday on the 4 to 5, but there's just so much talk about what's going on with concussion, CTE, and football, and I'm really glad that one football player is doing okay.
Yeah.
But the doctor was telling me the biggest difference is in where these proteins, that CTE, is in your brain. And it seems like the ones that have the homicidal tendencies have the frontal lobe proteins.
That's interesting.
So, but it's very rare.
And it's funny because I've only had one in my life, and it was mild, but it was from a car accident, and I had no idea that I had it. And they take me to the hospital just for precaution because I could walk and everything was okay. I had some cuts, but that was about it. And then they said, you have a concussion. And I was like, I had no clue. So the person that has it sometimes doesn't even know.
Yeah, it's a good thing that they were able to catch that, because I think about people who do play sports and they get a concussion and they're so eager to jump back into the game, and they get another concussion, they could really ruin their chances of even having a career. I don't know if have you ever watched the show All American on the CW?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, one of the characters on there, it's about high school football. He had gotten a concussion, and then he lied and said he was doing better, and he really wasn't, and he got hit again, and they were like, you kind of just blew your chances of probably playing college football because you didn't allow yourself to fully heal.
Yeah, I think we just need to educate children, because everybody, it seems like, wants to grow up and be an NFL player, and we just need to educate them from a young age, the coaches too, on how important it is to make sure they're using techniques and doing the right thing to keep these kids safe.
Got to be safe. That's number one. All right, we'll take a break and we're coming right back. Stay there. Warm weather with us, folks, for one more day. That will be tomorrow. And then after that, big changes. In fact, we mentioned this yesterday. You could see 15, 20 degree drop in high temperatures possible from Saturday to Sunday. So a tale of two totally different days coming up. Look at the Carolinas here. Columbia at 70, Charlotte 72, Fayetteville at 70, the Triad 68 degrees. Danville, you're at 67. Hello. 61 in Boone, then Coastside, Wilmington 75, and Hatteras at 66. Hour by hour heading into the night tonight, partly cloudy skies going into the 50s, upper 50s for much of the night, and by the time we get to the morning, maybe some mid 50s. That's as cool as it will get. In fact, our forecast low is 54, our normal high is 52. That's how mild we are right now. Lots of cloud cover, scattered clouds kind of here or there, hit or miss. Most of this rain is staying to the north as the system moves by. So let's put this in motion for you. We're still in the warm sector on your Saturday. 40% chance of showers as this system moves in, and I think really it's more of a midday and later shower activity for Saturday and maybe Sunday morning. We'll hold that 40% in for Sunday morning. After that, this is a noon radar and satellite combo, so you can see that rain starts to head out and then much cooler air moves in. In fact, here's what the 7-day looks like for us. If you're keeping track at home, here we go. 69 tomorrow, 40% chance of rain Saturday and then Sunday morning, but a cooler high at 51 degrees on Sunday. Monday, 28 and 48. And then the first day of winter on Tuesday, a 20% chance of a shower, high 52.
The loss of a parent can take a toll no matter your age, and adding complicated relationships, it can bring up a slew of emotions. As Coach Lamont explains in today's YOUDAY message, coming to terms with that relationship after death can be a challenge, but one you can overcome.
In 2017, my father passed away. I remember when I received the news, I was overcome with so many emotions: anger, resentment, sadness, regret. It seemed like all these emotions, they continued to rise to the surface one by one. It was like a roller coaster harboring unforgiveness in my heart towards him. I remember feeling confusion, not knowing which man to mourn for, the man he was or the man I had always hoped he would become. It was like the little boy on the inside of me continued to call out for a man that I had always longed to see. Why didn't he offer more of his life to me? This was the question that haunted me, but after prayer and reflection, I did find the strength to forgive. This is what I discovered. Many people can't offer much of themselves because they never developed a sense of understanding their own actions. We all do have people in our lives that we may have certain emotions towards, but in spite of it all, forgiving them of their wrongs is the best gift that we can give to ourselves.
So I'll tell you, I've lost both of my parents, my dad in 03, my mom in 07. And you never get over it. But my parents were a lot older for people my age, so they were more like almost grandparent age. So I kind of grew up knowing that that would happen, if that makes sense, because they weren't so young even when I was little. But I remember asking my dad, how did you deal with that when you lost your mom and dad? And he said, you know, you never get over it, but you turn your attention towards your own family. And he was right. I mean, that's what happens with me too. You don't really ever get over that. But I'll tell you this real quick, because I don't want to dominate the whole conversation, but I had a really big struggle after my father passed away. We were extremely close. And I had a dream, I swear this is the truth, a year later, and I was still kind of struggling with it. I had a dream that we were walking through the halls of the high school, because he was an educator his whole life. And as we got closer to the doors, he was getting more older and decrepit, and I was helping him. And it was kind of like a movie. The doors were with light, and he looked at me and shook my hand like it's okay, and he walked through, and I stood there. And when I woke up, I felt great. I felt like it was the right thing, and that's what relieved me of all of that.
You knew he was in a better place.
I think he and probably God were telling me it's okay. It's what's supposed to happen.
It's so crazy. I've actually had a dream like that too.
Really?
Yeah. So I haven't lost a parent yet. I know that that it's life. It's part of life, and I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
But losing a grandparent, my mom's dad, he kind of helped raise me because he kept me when I was not at school, and the day after he died, I had a dream, and we were at my grandparents' house, and there was a knock on the door, and I was the only one in the room, so I went and answered it, and it was him. And he said, "Shh, don't let anybody know that I came to see you, but please tell everyone that it's gonna be okay." I was in 5th grade, I had this dream, and still this day, I got chills thinking about it. Still this day, I believe that was him coming to tell me.
That's right.
God let him tell me, it's going to be
Yeah,
okay.
it's all right.
I
Yeah.
think that's absolutely beautiful.
It is.
I haven't lost a parent as well. I still have both of my parents, but one of the things I took away from Coach Lamont's message where he was talking about he had some type of resentment towards his father, I think that in life, if there are people that are close to us that we feel certain things about them, try to work that out while they're here on earth. And sometimes we just have to take a step back and be like, these are the tools they were given, you know, as far as what they've learned when they were growing up, which might contribute to, you know, your relationship. So if we've learned anything in the last 20 months or so, life is short, and just make sure that, you know, you try to talk to your loved ones and clear out any problems so you don't have that pain
And
once they, you know, leave this earth.
And ask questions of things you want to know.
Absolutely.
Because I have 1,000 questions now that I couldn't get answered, you know, it's interesting. All right, we'll take a break. We're coming right back. Well, tell me something good.
We're a week out from Christmas Eve, and as we look back on this challenging pandemic year, it's easy to dwell on all the wrong that's been happening, but what about all that has gone right and all the good people doing good things every day? That's why WFMY News 2's Megan Malaris makes it her mission each week to find the blessings bringing joy to you.
So I know it is the busiest time of the year and you are getting ready for your weekend, but if you can take just the next couple of minutes to sit back, relax, and reflect on life's many blessings, it can recharge your mindset, especially during the stresses of the holidays. I asked you on my Facebook page, Megan Malaris News, to tell me something good, big or small, that happened in your life recently. Joe is fostering a puppy he plans to adopt. Catherine's grandson turned 4 years old. Tanisha completed her Master of Healthcare Administration degree. Yolanda's son's family closed on their new build, their first home. Stacy's mother had a stroke earlier this year and now has 0 lingering symptoms. They consider themselves blessed. Brenda and her 90-year-old mother moved to her childhood home. Casey got engaged to a wonderful man on Thanksgiving. Mary received a food blessing, so she paid it forward to someone else. Marilyn had a similar experience. Someone paid for her grocery items, so she plans to do the same. Shannon got her marriage license and will be tying the knot soon. And newlyweds Michael and Megan bought a new Christmas tree and look forward to enjoying it for many holidays to come.
Well, welcome back and happy Friday. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Eric Chilton and Stacey Spivey. How y'all feeling?
Good. It's Friday.
Yeah, much
Everything's
better that
good.
it's Friday. That's.
I always say happy Friday is redundant. Friday's happy by nature. Welcome to all of you watching us right here on WFMY News 2, also on Fire Stick, Roku, and our app, which is for your TV, phone, or tablet.
We want to go ahead and get to our top story. There are positive notes in today's look at our state metrics, but there are also some concerns to be on the alert for. So let's start with the positive. Our state reported a lower number of new cases in the last 24 hours. The problem still remains that we are too close to double-digit numbers for our percent positives, both at the state and local level. The state reported a 7.8% positivity rate, slightly up from yesterday's 7.5%. In Guilford County, the single-day average rose to 8.7%, up from yesterday's 8.1%. And here's where we need to pay attention. The 14-day average jumped 3% from 5.5 to 8.2%. And Cone Health added 8 COVID patients to their care.
The rising positivity rate is just one of the reasons state leaders caution us to enjoy our holidays, but to do it safely. A Johnson County man says he's grateful to spend his holiday with his family this year compared to last year when he was in the ICU fighting COVID.
Greg Driver is grateful. Grateful to be working, grateful for his family, grateful
for every breath I take.
This time last year, he wasn't breathing on his own. He was in WakeMed's COVID ICU. When he came down with the virus in November of 2020, he didn't worry. He's in his early 50s with no medical conditions.
Honestly, I didn't get sick most of my life.
But this time he kept getting sicker, and within about a week he was in the hospital.
I could see the nurses' faces, and they were worried. So yeah, we had the conversation where I might not make it.
He never allowed himself to think the worst, even though he ultimately needed a ventilator.
My faith is strong.
He was unconscious for nearly a month. When he woke,
I was just thankful to God I was there, still there.
but his body was weak.
We take for granted getting up and walking in the morning. I couldn't walk when I got up. I couldn't talk either.
He spent more than 3 months in the hospital.
102 days. We didn't have Christmas till I got home in March. So they still all had the trees up and everything, and that's when we had Christmas.
This year, he is looking forward to celebrating on Christmas.
All those things we take for granted, and Christmas is a good time to recognize those are blessings.
And while he's grateful to be home from the hospital, he goes back often to thank the nurses and doctors who cared for him for all that time.
They're part of our family now. They give it all they have. They fight hard.
For them, the battle against COVID isn't over.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. A man has been arrested and charged for kidnapping in Charlotte that was caught on a video doorbell camera. Louis Lamontrez Meadows and the victim were found Thursday, according to Charlotte Mecklenburg police. Investigators determined Meadows and the victim knew each other and believed the kidnapping stemmed from a domestic violence situation. Meadows also had outstanding warrants on other charges and has been charged with first-degree kidnapping and assault on a female. The victim has been taken to a safe location by police. Bottled water and supplies donated to emergency crews in Pilot Mountain will now be sent to residents and volunteers in Kentucky. Supplies were donated as crews battled the Pilot Mountain fire, but with that 100% contained, the resources are no longer needed. Mayor Evan Cockerham says the excess supplies are already on the way to Kentucky as crews and residents continue to clean up damages from a fatal tornado that happened a week ago. Kentucky Governor Andy Bashir, confirmed 77 people are dead following the severe tornadoes last Friday. The youngest victim was 2 months old, the oldest 98. Apart from the deaths, only one person is reported as missing. Everyone else has been accounted for. The governor there says the Team Kentucky Fund for Disaster Relief has raised more than $18 million. 5 state parks are nearly full for families displaced by tornadoes. The governor is also encouraging blood donations.
Countdown is on, 8 days until Christmas, and I'll bet those elves on the shelves all around the Triad are busy, busy, busy. But I'll bet your elf looks nothing like the one at McMichael High School. Yep, they call him Deputy on a shelf. And of course, it all started with an idea and a costume.
We had like a spirit week this week. It's the week before we get out for Christmas. And so I was talking to a couple teachers, and they said, you know, you ought to try the elf on the shelf. So I actually looked for a costume, and I couldn't find one. I guess it was so late. So I talked to one of the home ec teachers, Jennifer Flint, and she said, why don't you just get a long sleeve red T-shirt, and then I'll make the white piece.
So donning his holiday best, Deputy Woodall went to random rooms and positions in the school, posing like the Christmas elf. And, you know, he was holding still, like as still as he could. And then he'd just watch and wait for reactions from staff and students.
I went and contacted teachers and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Do you mind me just coming in your classroom for 5 or 10 minutes and just sitting in the back? So I went in one of the biology classes. I went into the home ec class and sat on like a little ledge in the back. And then I went up in the gym. And the kicker was when I was in the gym, I was up there in the press box. I was up there for 20 minutes before anybody even saw me. When I was in the gym, you know, I was up in the, you know, I had those sunglasses on because I knew if I'd made contact with the kids, I would start laughing. So I was kind of looking straight across the gym at like the window or something on the wall, and I didn't move. And I heard kids say, man, he's not even moving. And one kid said, is it a mannequin that looks like Woodall?
That is so funny.
So funny. And he was really fun to talk to when I did this interview. He said I would slip into like a chemistry class and I would just sit in the back and get really still. And he was doing his hands. The elf, if you haven't seen him before, their hands always look kind of like
Barbies
right.
almost?
Yes, like a Barbie doll. That's right. And he would hold real still and just watch and see what they did. So fun.
I bet their reaction was like, oh my gosh, how long have you been here for? I think that gym picture was the funniest
We all started dying
I know,
laughing
he's just
when we saw
standing there. He's been at that school, I want to say 26 years.
Wow.
I think that's what he said to me. And he's going to retire in July, so he's kind of a legend there.
I absolutely love this because it's like creating that bond between the students and making them feel comfortable, you know, to come and talk to you, to do fun stuff like this.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I mean, it's so important that these SROs and schools have relationships with these kids, and when they do stuff like this, it puts them more on like a relatable, even playing field, and so they see them more as like a mentor instead of an officer.
So funny. I loved it. All right, so I asked you on Facebook because there's a thing here with the Elf on the Shelf. Some people love it, some people can't stand it. Let's see what you said when I asked you. Leah said, love it. It has brought many laughs and memories to my family. Linda Plummer says, love it. Family interactions, creativity, and a lot of fun. Candace says, I think they're cute, but then again, I never had one, but some things they get into are hilarious. I guess you're seeing that on social media probably. Linda Hall says, hate it, totally creepy. Jennifer says, I think it is weird and creepy, and then this one cracked me up. Mary said, nope, something about those eyes, just like the Chucky doll. So yeah, there's this whole back and forth thing about that. You're not familiar with them, is that what
I'm
you're
not too familiar with them, but the more I was like seeing different things online, it looks like it could be a lot of fun for the family.
We never did that. I don't know if that was like a thing.
Yeah, we didn't do it. Is this like a mid-2000s thing? Like based off of a book, I think.
Yeah, it was, and I think it really got started something maybe early 2000. It's been, I haven't heard of it in probably 15 years, something like that. But it's interesting because they say he pops up all over the place, and you don't know where he's going to be the next morning. That would scare me.
Yeah, just wake up next to you, you're like, oh, hey there.
Yeah, because I think sometimes kids wake up and he's like right here
in the bed.
But I think the cute thing is they get to like pick the name of the elf and everything. I don't know. We'll probably end up doing it just because
with Bailey.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I'll bet that there's a lot of buddies out there. I'll bet.
Oh yeah.
That would make sense. Yeah. All right. We can talk about a forecast. One more day of warm weather before we start to change things up a little bit. In fact, we're going to see the cloud cover stay with us through most of the day tomorrow, and some showers possibly. We think for Saturday night and Sunday morning, it's a 40% chance. That actually has increased over the last couple of days. Some of our models trending that way, but you can see the cloud cover on the radar here. We'll go out to a wider shot. Now you look at this and you're thinking, wait a minute, most of this have missed us already. It's headed to the north, but it's what's back out to the west that we're watching. So here's what the frontal systems look like. So this cold front, and you can see how it kind of lifts to the north. That's what's happening right now. That low will take most of the rain north, but we think Saturday some of this moves through, and then Sunday morning a little bit more rain before it all will clear us as we head into Sunday afternoon. There is a huge temperature change though that we're going from Saturday into Sunday. Temperatures going from nearly 70 back into the 50s. We mentioned this before, but that 54-degree overnight low, very mild for this time of the year. It's closer to what our high should be. Wind southwest 5 to 10. That's for tonight. Tomorrow partly cloudy. You can see a couple of showers here and there, and those winds are going to pick up for your Saturday though. We're looking for all of that to be 10 to 15 and gusting to 25. Kind of rough out there. 7-day forecast with low 50s Sunday. The rain leaves clear and cold Monday with 28 for the low that morning, 48 for the high. First day of winter, 52 and partly cloudy. Slight 20% for Tuesday, Wednesday. By the time we get to the end of the week, headed toward the holiday. We've got 53 on Thursday, partly cloudy. Christmas Eve, the high 55 with scattered clouds. It's the way they pronounce it up there. It's a bird, it's a plane. It's the Wright brothers' first flight. Today is a huge day in North Carolina history. It's Wright Brothers Day, a day that honors Wilbur and Orville's successful flight in Kitty Hawk back December 17th, 1903, just a few years ago. Took the brothers years of hard work and a move from Ohio to make sure the first flight was a success. A big factor there was finding some good wind.
That was the biggest thing they were missing from their home in Dayton, Ohio. They needed a place with strong winds for their experiments, soft sands for when they possibly crash, and then a lack of people, so isolation, so they don't have to worry about people stealing their ideas. And Kitty Hawk at the time had all three of those things in abundance.
In celebration, entrance fees at the Wright Brothers National Memorial were waived today. Have you ever been there?
So I'm embarrassed to say that I'm born and raised here and I haven't been to the memorial.
Okay.
I've been to Kitty Hawk, but I've never been to the actual memorial. I'd love to see it.
I think that explanation really explains why we're first in flight, because I knew that we were first in flight, but them being in Ohio, like, how did they come here? So I thought that was a good explanation.
Ohio hates that, by the way.
Oh,
They
I know.
claim to be the birthplace. So that's what they say.
Okay.
They're the birthplace of aviation and we were first in flight.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember the day Tanya came in here. She was telling us about her husband. I guess
Yes.
is from Ohio,
Yep.
and so he says, you know, he gets
The battle of the who's first.
right. Yeah. Either way, hey, I'm just grateful for them because now I can fly places, and
right.
it makes my life easier. So.
Very good.
Well, from flying through the skies by plane to web-slinging superhero flight through New York City. The next big superhero movie arrives in theaters and has everyone's spidey senses tingling.
I cannot wait.
Spider-Man No Way Home officially premieres today, but some fans got to catch the movie in showings last night that started last night. Buzz about the movie was quickly the top trend on Twitter overnight and one of the top Google searches. No spoilers here, but check out the reaction from one fan after seeing the movie. He looks very excited, and he's not alone. Fans and critics seem to like the latest installment. The movie was officially certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes movie review site.
So I am over the moon about this, so are my kids. All of us want to see it. And it's funny, so when I was a kid, Spider-Man was my first like big superhero. I think I was him for my first 3 Halloweens because I loved it so much. Yes, oh yes. And my mom would get so mad at me because I would like jump up on the cabinet like Spider-Man, you know, I was jumping on all the furniture. But this movie is supposed to tie in all the other Spider-Man movies. So that's, and I'm not giving anything away, everybody's seen this.
Spoiler.
But yeah, it brings in like Tobey Maguire and
does
so
it?
all the Andrew Garfield, so they all come together in this because they're bringing them in from other dimensions thanks to that guy right there. So
Doctor
it's
Strange,
very
right?
Cool. He opens the portals, right?
My husband would be very proud.
I haven't been in the theater since before COVID, but this is actually a movie I would go to the theater to see, especially with the surround sound and everything. That would definitely be awesome.
Yeah, I need to get into these Marvel movies. I know this is
Well,
Marvel,
didn't Jake
right?
get you? Yes, it is.
Marvel Studios.
Okay, yes. Because sometimes I know I get them confused.
See, now we know exactly how much you don't like
Yes,
Marvel.
yes. But my husband, he gets so mad because he is like
He's into
huge.
it.
He has like an encyclopedia full of Marvel things, and I'm just like, what?
You're like,
There
wait,
are
is this
so
Marvel?
many of them, though.
A lot.
Marvel movies.
It's like
I haven't seen a
27 or
lot.
something,
Yeah.
28. My son Tyler started watching from in the right order. He started that 6 months ago. And
maybe I
is-
should do
is
that.
just now catching up because you can't do them when they came out. They, in the timeline of things, they come in different order. But if you Google that, watch all of them in order. It's really interesting.
How many Spider-Man versions are there? Because I
Oh my
remember, I think
gosh.
like the first one
In movies?
in movies came out like early 2000s.
I remember. I actually did see
Because I went
that
to the
one.
theater
Me
to see
too.
that one, but I feel
With
like
Kirsten Dunst.
yeah, that one.
Yes.
And I haven't seen all of them. So how many are
So
there?
I think there are 3. So I think it's been Tobey Maguire. Is it Andrew Garfield was the
Yeah.
second one? 5? And
There's
then Tom
5.
Holland.
See, I've only seen like 2 of them. I own the first 2.
Who are the other 2? Tasha was telling me in my ear, our producer. Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire. See, that's the only 3 I can think of.
Maybe there were other. They were in more movies than just like.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway.
I don't know.
It
There's
doesn't
a lot
matter.
of 'em.
He's one of the most popular.
People are
Yeah.
hype about this one. No Way Home.
Can't wait.
Their spidey
Can't wait.
senses.
All right, we'll take
That
a
how you
break.
do it?
That's it.
It doesn't work for me.
We'll leave it to him.
Oh, there he is. 8 days until Christmas. I know our minds are on presents and Christmas pudding, but this time of year is also a season of giving back. So I asked you on my Facebook page how you plan to pay it forward during the holidays. Melita says extra donations to several charitable causes for education and the environment. Teresa writes, I love hearing the bell ringers for the Salvation Army. When I hear the bells, I start digging into my wallet. It makes me feel good knowing they help so many people. Phil says donate to causes who help the less fortunate, to people who may have experienced devastating catastrophes, to further voting rights to all of our citizens, and to eliminate poverty. And Scott adds, I don't limit paying it forward to just the holidays. It's a year-long thing, and I will purchase the person's meal behind me in the drive-through line once per month. That's actually a really good idea. Some people do that at Starbucks, and that's always nice.
Did I tell you that happened to me? Did we talk about this?
It happened to me at Biscuitville like a couple months ago.
This was like 3 days ago. I was going through Chick-fil-A and they said the lady in front paid for you, and I went, okay, well, I'll pay for the guy behind me. And I always wanted to call back and see how long it goes.
Yeah, to see if it kept going.
who
Like, don't
breaks
be the
it?
person that breaks the chain.
Yeah, I feel like you have to. Every time somebody would pay for my meal, you just feel kind of obligated. I mean, you should.
I
right?
saw a radio station prank one time. Well, not a prank. Well, sort of was. They paid for somebody behind them, and then they pulled over and they had their cell phone out and they waited to see who broke the chain, and then they ran up and asked them why they did it. I was like, that was
Unless someone had like a $200 order behind you.
like a catering.
That would be understandable.
Yeah, that's right. That won't work.
Yeah.
We won't be doing that. No. All
Just
right.
be nice.
Let's
Pay
talk
it forward.
Pay it forward. Something we should always do even outside of the holidays,
It's
like one of
true.
those viewers said.
Yeah.
It's very true. You said Christmas pudding too. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah.
Like,
We both looked at each
Yeah,
other.
I was
what?
like, oh, what's that?
what? Like,
What is?
come bring us some figgy
Oh,
pudding?
figgy. Oh, in the song. Oh, okay.
Oh, I
thought
thought
you
it
had
was
some
like maybe
special
like a
Christmas-
bread pudding
yeah,
or something.
I didn't know what
Yeah,
happened.
I don't know. I was
Don't
just
mind
trying to, play on words, presents,
From
pudding.
the songs. I started saying
Yeah.
you have to make the pudding for us. Whatever.
You know, we bring everything back to food
Right.
on the
Again.
45.
Clearly, we have a
Or
food
Eric brings
problem.
everything back to food
I
because
do.
he's the one that
It's all
asked the
children.
question.
It's always 4:50ish, so always tune in for that. Let's see what's going on with the forecast and a quick look at our weather. Yeah, we're warm for another day, and then we'll see things change a little bit. So tomorrow we think we'll be up to about 69 degrees. And when you look at this, and I'll start out and I want to show you some temperatures first because we're mild today. Probably tomorrow I think we might end up with similar temperatures. We're at 68 now, but we're looking for that temperature to jump to about 69 tomorrow. Now overnight, as you head throughout the overnight hours, mid-50s by morning time. And again, that's really mild. As we said, our normal high temperature this time of the year usually is around 52 degrees. So we're kind of all over the place, right? You can see clouds on our sky cam, by the way. That's going to be the rule tonight. I'd say partly to mostly cloudy, and then the rain will start to move in. So a 40% chance of showers on your Saturday. That will continue overnight into Sunday morning. It's not a washout, but it is a scattered shower or two. Sunday morning, 40% chance and a high of 51. Big temperature drop between those 2 days. Now let's look at next week as we see those high temperatures going to, it's a cold Monday, 48, and the low that morning is 28 degrees. Yeah, ironic that that's not the first day of winter. That would be Tuesday. But a 20% chance of a shower with a high of 52, right where we should be this time of the year. Same story for Wednesday, slight chance of rain and 53, but those are really small chances. Don't hold your breath for that. 53 Thursday, scattered clouds. Christmas Eve, morning low 32, the high that day 55 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And of course, stick around. Tomorrow we'll be adding that Christmas Day forecast for you.
that we want in our show.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, look at that hardware. Hello, this is me. I have a new microphone on my back.
Yesterday, so sweet. Timmy? Timmy? No, I said thank you for the nice compliment.
Oh,
that
you're
is so
welcome.
sweet. Hi. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So it's time for my 2 cents, and I have to tell you, today I'm eating crow for lunch. You may remember this from a few weeks ago when my good friend from Rock 92 and two guys named Chris Kelly and I went to lunch, and I talked about how notoriously cheap Chris Kelly is. For those of you that don't think he's cheap, just take a look. There's his 1998 Acura that he's still driving. Well, he said he'd pay me back, right? Today was the day that we were supposed to go, and he would pick up the tab. He called me the other day and said, let's go to lunch. I said, okay. Cautiously, I accepted. I went today. We sat down, we ate. The bill comes. Tension mounts, pressure building. Waitress walks up. I look at him. He looks at me. Both of us a little shifty. And he goes, I got you today, E-Chill. I said, what? I have proof, pictures to show that he did bring his wallet. There was actually cash in there. He offered to pay, and he did it. Now, he wore little Benjamin Franklin readers, but he still paid. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Chris Kelly from Rock 92 can now take off that wet blanket I put on him a few weeks ago calling him cheap. He paid up. We'll see how long this trend lasts, but that's just my 2 cents. And that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Schools across the country and right here in the Piedmont Triad on alert today because of a TikTok challenge.
Students are resharing threats of violence on the app, hoping to gain attention.
I think we have to take every single threat seriously. The one time we don't will be the time we regret.